we're going to be subtracting these two rational expressions. Okay, well, the rational expressions, the very first thing that we want to deal with is, do they have the same denominator? Do they have the same thing on the bottom of the fraction portion? In this case, they do not. So what we're going to need to do is figure out a way to find the lowest common denominator. When we're finding out how to do that, the best way that I found is we just deal with the numbers first. 4 and 3. The lowest common denominator between 4 and 3 would be 12. We're just going to multiply those two together. So that we've got the 12 portion. Now we got to deal with the variables. The variable in this case, we see we've got an x and we've got an x over here. What you're going to do is take the highest degree, in other words, the one with the highest exponent. In this case, it's 5. So your lowest common denominator here is going to be 12x to the 5th. Okay, that's going to be the absolute lowest that you can do. You can multiply these two together, but man, then at the end you're going to have to reduce it. It gets kind of ugly. So if you can just take the highest degree or the highest exponent of that variable, that will work every time. Okay, so now that we know it's 12x to the 5th, now I need to look, let's pay attention just to the left-hand side for a moment. What do I need to multiply this by here to get 12x to the 5th? Well, that's going to have to be 4x squared. So I'm going to have to multiply top and bottom by 4x squared. Now remember, in multiplying top and bottom, 4x squared over 4x squared is just 1, so I'm not changing the value. Essentially, I'm multiplying this by 1. But what that allows me to do is have a common denominator. Excuse me. So now now we're okay, because 3 times 4 is 12. X cubed times x squared is x to the 5th, so that works. Now I take a look at this second portion, the one over here on the right. What do I need to multiply this one by to get to 12x to the 5th? Well, it's already x to the 5th, so no x's, but I do need to multiply it by a 3. So that means I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3. Okay, 3 over 3. All right, so let's bring that in here and go the next step further. 8 times 4 gives me 32. That's just an x squared. 3 times 3 gave me my 9. Notice I keep my subtraction sign here. And that's over both the common denominator, which is 12x to the 5th. Now that we have the same denominator, that was the hard part. Now it's pretty easy. All we're going to do is combine the numerator, combine what's on top. So I've got 32x squared minus 9. That is my final answer here. Now I cannot reduce these two here, even though I've got x's on top and bottom. This subtraction sign here prohibits me from doing that. If I had an x over here as well, then we could reduce, but I don't. So this is your final answer on this one.